Lost Word of Jenny, Tokyo Tower, 2021, directed by Hitoshi and Kazuya Shiraishi, is an upcoming Japanese romance comedy film, was released on April 9, 2021. Japanese Illustrator, Lily Franky as Jerry the Magical Hat, is a role similar to Barbie, which is a cameo appearance. Also people search such as Hiroki Hasegawa, Kotaro Yoshida, Natsuki Kawamura, Eri Fukatsu, Odagiri, Pierre Taki, Elaiza Ikeda, Yayako Uchida, Masaharu Fukuyama, Suzuki Matsuo, and Masami Nagasawa, with crew such as Hirokazu Koreeda, Hitoshi Ohne, Shinyatsu Komodo and Kazuya Shiraishi. Also featuring actors such as Yuki Katamoto, Sosuke Ikumatsu, Kenichi Endo, Tokyo Emoto, Miona Hori, a girl group of Nagasawa 46, Geta Utaro, Jun Murakami, Milena, Kiichi Nakari, Eun-Kyung, Kafka Shishido, and Sari Ito. The Barbie doll failed in its introduction to Japan in the 1960s, but their longtime American favorite has been a hot item in the 80s. And that success has produced a bitter legal battle between Japan's two biggest toy makers, which are in court trading charges of unfair competition and breach of faith. Takara Limited, Japan's No. 2 toy manufacturer, is suing a joint venture between Mattel, Barbie's American maker, and the Japanese toy maker Bandai Company Limited. Takara had sold Barbie dolls, altered to Japanese children's taste, under license from Mattel from 1982. But Mattel abruptly terminated that agreement in January, because it felt Takara was not trying hard enough to sell other Mattel toys, and was leaking Mattel secrets to another American toy maker. Now Takara claims Mattel and arch-rival Bandai cloned their nude Barbie doll from the Barbie that Takara spent 19 months and 100 million yen, about $590,000, developing. Bandai, Japan's top toy maker, began marketing the Barbie last month through the joint venture, Mobie Corporation. It's exactly the same thing as our old Barbie, so we sued under the Unfair Competition Prevention Law, says spokesman Shusuke Boda of Takara, which changed the name from Barbie to Jenny. Not so, says Fred Tang, managing director for Mattel Asia Limited. We promised Takara to make a different doll, and we did, he said in an interview. If you ask a young girl if they're different, she'll say yes. If you ask her if they're similar, she'll say yes. There's a kind of similarity, 2 arms, 2 legs. After unsuccessful attempts by Mattel in Japan in the 1960s to market its American Barbie, of which 1 million a week now are sold worldwide, Takara developed a Barbie that appealed to Japanese children, with a rounder face, huge eyes and small lips. Takara sold Barbie dolls worth 5.6 billion yen, about $33 million. Last year our total sales had 51 billion yen, or $300 million, paying Mattel about 300 million yen, or $1.8 million, in royalties, Kubota says. Takara sold 6 million of the dolls. Things turned sour with Takara's 1984 tie-up with Hasbro, the top U.S. toy maker, to market the successful Transformer robot toy series in the United States. Mattel worried that Takara could leak Mattel secrets to Hasbro, its chief rival. Mattel approached Takara several times from 1983 to 85 to form a joint venture company to sell Barbies, but each time Takara refused. Tang said Takara probably cared less about the 4.5 billion yen, $26 million, worth of Barbies it sold in 1984 than the 28 billion yen, $165 million, worth of Transformers it sold to Hasbro the same year. Kubota insists that Mattel toys didn't succeed in Japan. Takara tried Masters of the Universe, Vertibird, Helicopter, Pop-Up Pictures, he says. But they just didn't sell. Mattel says Takara didn't try. Figures such as Masters of Universe, He-Man, need stories on television to sell, but Takara never tried to get it on TV, Tang said. In January, Mattel abruptly ended its agreement with Takara and said it would sell a new Barbie in Japan. Takara's lawsuit seeks to halt Mobie's Barbie production. Tang, calling the suit a lot of nonsense, notes that the nude Barbie is 1 centimeter taller and twists and bends at the waist. Miyuki Ishii, a toy sales clerk at Ginza's Matsuzakaya department store, said, "I can't tell the difference. Jenny seems to be selling better, but not many people seem to know there's a new Barbie." Takara and Mattel also are sparring over the doll's AD campaigns. We especially object to the AD. Barbie has come back from America, Kubota says. They make it sound as if our Barbie wasn't the real one.
You are my deepest ocean.
Jenny is a 10.5-inch fashion doll produced by Japanese toy company now known as Takara since 1982. The doll was known as Takara Barbie, and in 1986 the doll was renamed Jenny after Takara ended their licensing agreement with Mattel.
ジェニーのファッションテーマはクール。LA のファッションをベースにパンチのある要素を足してかっこよくまとめたスタイル。ヘアメイクはエクステをつけたクールなロングヘア。クールスタイル、ジェニー。
The nominees for favorite male soul R&B artists are
Babyface, Tevin Campbell, and the artist formerly known as Prince.
and the winner of this is
Man, that is sealed. Okay.
Babyface.
Well, I don't believe it. This is a pleasant, very pleasant surprise. I didn't expect this. This has been a great year for me, and I can just say God's been looking out for me, and I want to say thank you to God first of all, and I want to say thank you to my beautiful wife Tracy for the support there. I'm blinking. And let me say thank you to all the fans and everybody that's voted for me. I love you all. Thank you.
On February 9, 1991, James Cleveland died in Culver City, California. He was 59. Some reports list the cause of death as congestive heart failure, stating that the singer had fallen into a coma shortly before his death. He is interred at Inglewood Park Cemetery in Inglewood, California. White was overweight for most of his adult life and suffered from related health problems. In October 1995, White was admitted to a hospital as a result of high blood pressure. In August 1999, White was forced to cancel a month's worth of tour dates owing to exhaustion, high blood pressure and a hectic schedule. In September 2002, White was hospitalized with kidney failure attributed to chronic diabetes mellitus and high blood pressure. While undergoing dialysis and awaiting a kidney transplant in May 2003, White suffered a severe stroke, which forced him to retire from public life. On July 4, 2003, White died at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles at the age of 58. His remains were cremated, and the ashes were scattered in the ocean off the Californian coast. Tisdale died on May 15, 2009, at St. John Medical Center in Tulsa, where his wife had taken him when he had trouble breathing. She later confirmed that he died after his esophagus ruptured following radiation treatments for his cancer. Tisdale's agent described his death as a great shock and noted that Tisdale had been planning to go into the recording studio the following week for a project with jazz guitarist Norman Brown. In 2003, Charles had successful hip replacement surgery and was planning to go back on tour until he began suffering from other ailments. He died at his home in Beverly Hills, California of complications resulting from liver failure on June 10, 2004, at the age of 73. His funeral took place on June 18, 2004, at the First African Methodist Episcopal Church of Los Angeles with numerous musical figures in attendance. B.B. King, Glen Campbell, Stevie Wonder and Wynton Marsalis each played a tribute at the funeral. He was interred in the Inglewood Park Cemetery. The remaining 8 shows of his 2014 tour were cancelled because of health problems caused by complications from high blood pressure and diabetes. King died in his sleep on May 14, 2015, at the age of 89, from vascular dementia caused by a series of small strokes as a consequence of his type 2 diabetes. 2 of his daughters alleged that King was deliberately poisoned by 2 associates trying to induce diabetic shock. However, an autopsy showed no evidence of poisoning. Campbell died in Nashville, Tennessee, on August 8, 2017, at the age of 81. Vandross suffered from diabetes and hypertension. On April 16, 2003, Vandross suffered a severe stroke at his home in New York City and was in a coma for nearly 2 months. The stroke affected his ability to speak and sing, and required him to use a wheelchair. Vandross died on July 1, 2005, at the JFK Medical Center in Edison, New Jersey, at the age of 54 of a heart attack. This movie was presented by Toho Company Limited.